our lives are not as normal as other people that haven't been abused. The abuse has just changed their attitude to life, changed their attitude to people. But as abuse victim myself, I'm glad that it's all out in the open now, that everybody knows, the whole world knows, and the Catholic Church knows, and they knew all the time, but they can't deny now that they do know, which they have done throughout years and years and years of their silence. And instead of taking action when they knew the abuse was taking place, they could have saved lives upon lives, and the torture for families and children, and just their silence just has ruined more lives that you could think of.
Il fallimento delle autorità ecclesiastiche, vescovi, superiori religiosi, sacerdoti e altri nell'affrontare adeguatamente questi crimini repugnanti ha giustamente suscitato indignazione e rimane causa di sofferenza e di vergogna per la comunità cattolica.
He said he is keeping bishops accountable, he is removing bishops, but I said to him that he may have removed some, but they're being allowed to resign and walk away, so nobody knows that they have been guilty of anything.
You know, you only have to do a few Google searches to see loads of examples of popes and bishops saying, we didn't know. Like the rest of society, we didn't even understand such things were possible. They did, they lied.
Дублин, август 2018 года. Впервые Папа Франциск публично извиняется за преступления, совершенные священниками Ирландской католической церкви. Организаторы мессы ждали, что послушать Папу придет до 500 000 человек. Из-за бойкота их оказалось почти в 5 раз меньше. Ирландия – один из европейских лидеров по численности католической общины. Непоколебимый, казалось бы, авторитет церкви и ее тесное взаимодействие с органами власти начали по кирпичику разрушаться 20 лет назад. Запущенные тогда разбирательства выявили, между 1970 и 90 годами было совершено 15 000 с лишним сексуальных преступлений против детей. Официальных извинений от церкви жертвы и их семьи дождались лишь в 2018-м. Выступление Папы Франциска многие в Ирландии сочли неуместно запоздавшим. Не случайно часть жертв растления не смогла справиться с грузом пережитого, люди уходили из жизни. Тех, кто смог идти дальше, в Ирландии называют военным термином «выжившие». Мартин Галлахер – один из них. В свои 12 он стал жертвой насилия со стороны Юджина Грина, приходского священника из Донегала. Первым историю Мартина выслушал его тезка, инспектор полиции на пенсии Мартин Ридж.
When we were younger and abused, there was nobody to talk to that we could trust. The priests we couldn't go near, they would laugh at us and call us liars. We couldn't tell our parents because they would have to go to the priest and he'd do the same thing to them. We couldn't tell the guards because the guards and the priests and teachers were all big buddies and they stuck together, so we were alone. Martin here came along and started to investigate Eugene Green, and that opened up a big page in our life because it released a lot of pressure, anxiety, depression, all those bad feelings we were building up for years. So just by talking to Martin the first day, that lifted a big load from my shoulders that somebody was going to help me in the end.
В 2008 году Мартин Ридж опубликовал книгу, описав расследование в отношении Юджина Грина в период между 60-ми и 90-ми годами. Автор обвиняет католическую церковь в слишком долгом бездействии, несмотря на поступавшие жалобы.
I was glad I was there for them because they educated me too, and they're educating society. Because those people are experts because they know what they're talking about, you see. So again, Martin doesn't need my platitudes, but I'm so grateful, and so is the public, for the likes of Martin, like, you know, and thank God he's getting his own life back on track, you know, and it's not easy. We all have bad days, you know, and it can come back and grab us with fear and contempt and everything, but we have to be careful too, because anger can be self-destructive as well, though maybe it's good to hold on to some of it too, to realise what's going on, you know. I would like to say thank you, Martin, again and again and again.
История Мартина не единичный случай. Разбирательства о сексуальном насилии в Ирландии касаются почти 15 тысяч детей. Речь идет о преступлениях, совершенных в течение многих лет. Для сравнения, Бельгия, Германия и Франция с 2010 года зафиксировали лишь несколько сотен жалоб на домогательство священников. Как выяснилось, в период с 1975 по 2004 год 12 священников в Дублине фигурировали по 2/3 жалоб и исков. Для борьбы с педофилией в 2002 году епархия при поддержке госструктур создала службу защиты детей. Эндрю Феган – ее директор и координатор.
When it became known that, priests had behaved in an abusive way towards children, that was understood as a problem for the priest, not as a problem for the child or for other children. And for a long time, and it's not as if the diocesan authorities didn't do anything about those situations. They did do things, but they were all about trying to fix up the priest and send him back. And they were not child-centered. They did not prioritize the safety of children. Even though lots of things have changed, I'm not sure that perception has changed. I think that a lot of people still think it's a bit risky to allow your children to be involved in church activities. So I would say that there are a lot of parents who have made a decision to distance themselves from the church.
If I'm meeting with parents and we're preparing their children for the sacrament, say for confirmation or for communion, we will explain to the parents that we have a child safeguarding policy in action here in our parish. No adult is alone with a child. Especially here in our own parish, in our sacristy, no adult is alone. That if children are on the premises, we make sure that they're under the care of those who have been guard vetted and those who have completed the training course. Also, if you have any visiting priests, if you have anybody coming into our sacristy, they are obliged to sign in. And we also, we would ask parents, we'd ask guardians of children not to let their child go to the toilet on their own, that they stay there, that they stay in the public area, just making sure that their child is okay. It's been a horrible chapter in the history of the church and in our lives. So it's a really horrible chapter. So I would be hugely passionate and I would do anything that I possibly could to make sure no child is hurt in this church.
За покаянием церкви сегодня стоят душераздирающие и мужественные откровения, как история Даррена МакГивена, 48-летнего выжившего после сексуального насилия. Его мучитель Тони Уолш в настоящее время находится в тюрьме за растление и жестокое обращение с 200 детей. Даррен вспоминает о своем детстве в местечке Балли-Фермот.
At the age of 7, when I went to that school, he became the parish priest. So he was adorned. He was also an impersonator of Elvis Presley. So he was in a thing called the All Priest Show, and they went around the country in halls and clubs. They got paid. So everyone thought, isn't he brilliant? Isn't he great? How amazing is he? And then when he talks on the pulpit about his Lord Jesus Christ, Jesus is my friend. I'm going to save you. He went home and told me parents, so the dirty secret was out. I now know you're beating that child and your wife. So now both my parents, which were adults, were vulnerable to the priest and in his pocket, because he knows their dirty secret. So the priest suggested that I take your son out of this environment because you've damaged him. He's acting out and you're beating him more and you don't know how to deal with him. If he comes with me, I can teach him love and he can serve morning masses and we'll bring him to lovely places. Take a bit of pressure off you. To somebody, a mother of 5 children, they were all going mad, and the husband was very rarely there, and when he was beating the shit out of her. That was brilliant. My child is safe. What if I was to tell you that a young boy was tied up over a coffee table, bound by his hands to his ankles, and noticed a candle burning, a thin one, but just thought it was a clerical candle. And while I was told that I'd burn in hell for all eternity, I was raped with the burning candle.
В 12 лет Даррен увидел документальный фильм о педофилах и понял, что его отношения с приходским священником были ненормальными. С того дня мальчик стал пациентом детского психиатра, боясь лишь одного, что на суде не поверят его показаниям.
The lady gave me the doll and says to me, "Can you show me what happened?" And I said, "You want me to stick me cock and me penis inside the doll in front of you?" And she said, "What?" I said, "But you told me to show you. So you want me to, like, rip the doll and ride the doll?" She goes, "No, just show me." I said, "I don't understand." I said, "I'd have to do it." I said, "But you said it was wrong. So why do you want me to do something that's wrong? I don't understand that." So they were like, "That kind of makes sense. We didn't come across that before." So I said, "How about just asking me what happened?" So when I was asking, I had to keep asking them and taking the tissues at 12 and saying, "Are you okay?" Because I had traumatized them. To me it was okay, because I was used to it.
Сегодня Даррен – терапевт. Он работает с жертвами насилия. За спиной мужчины 5 попыток самоубийства. Он один из 10% жертв, решивших обратиться к властям. В 2014 году в интервью, данным итальянской газете «Република», папа Франциск заявил, что в мире католической церкви 2% священников-педофилов, включая епископов и кардиналов. Однако с опорой на исследование, проведенное в Бостоне, психиатр и бывший священник Ричард Сайп называет цифру в 6%. По его данным, один педофил в церкви успевает травмировать за жизнь в среднем 250 человек. Для Ирландии эта формула означает 75 тысяч жертв на 280 священников-педофилов. А для всей Европы без малого 3 миллиона жертв, более чем на 11 тысяч растлителей. Наблюдатели задаются вопросом, не эта ли статистика вынуждала церковь так долго замалчивать преступления. Колмо Горман, еще одна жертва педофилов, сегодня директор Amnesty International в Ирландии. Он борется за то, чтобы жертвы получили компенсации.
The way that the church conducted itself and the hypocrisy and the corruption at the heart of the church was revealed. And that led to people in Ireland rejecting the moral authority of the church. It led to an end of the political dominance of the Catholic Church here in Ireland. You know, for decades, the Vatican called us liars. You know, they said we were telling lies, that we were fantasists, that this was an anti-Catholic agenda, that there was no cover-up. So now the Pope says there was a cover-up and we're meant to think he's great for acknowledging the truth? That's the minimum.
Мари Коллинз тоже из выживших. Один из лидеров в области профилактики жестокого обращения с детьми и детской порнографии в интернете, она была символом папской комиссии по защите несовершеннолетних. Структуру создали в 2014 году при поддержке папы Франциска для борьбы с сексуальным насилием. Коллинз вышла из комиссии в 2017 году, устав от сопротивления в Ватикане.
The commission was experts outside the church, child protection experts from every area, brought together to advise the Pope, to bring expertise into the church from outside. And I went along with it because if the church was sincere in wanting to change, I thought that I should work to help. But I found after a couple of years that there was so much resistance in the Vatican to change. They were undermining the work of the Commission, they were resisting the work of the Commission, and really we were making recommendations, the Pope was approving them, and they were not being implemented, so it was a waste of time. The Curia, the civil service, the Pope's civil service, they saw us on the Commission as people coming in from the outside and interfering. The importance of child protection was ignored, really. It was more politics.
Недавнее решение главы Ватикана отменить папскую тайну в вопросах педофилии, тем не менее, демонстрирует стремление к прозрачности. Отныне жалобы, свидетельства о сексуальном насилии из церковных архивов должны передаваться в гражданские органы власти. Скандалы вокруг священников, кажется, стали триггером больших перемен. В 2015 году ирландцы одобрили однополые браки. Затем, в 2018 году отменили запрещающую аборты поправку. Примечательно, что 80% респондентов в стране называют себя католиками, и именно эти люди проголосовали за реформы, идущие вразрез с позицией церкви. Статистика подчеркивает ирландский парадокс. Оставаясь верующим, общество удаляется от церкви как института. Тенденция показательна и для Европы. Это единственный в мире регион, где численность католиков сократилась в последние годы. Ирландия пытается залечить раны, нанесенные священнослужителями-педофилами, и улучшить безопасность детей. В стране поняли, что церковь в одиночку этих проблем не решит. Важный урок для государств, таких как Австралия, Франция, Польша или США, где жертвы церковных сексуальных посягательств начинают заявлять о себе. Их голоса подтверждают грандиозный масштаб явления и позицию церкви – молчать, покрывать и так соучаствовать. Болевые точки обнаруживаются то тут, то там. Недавний пример – низложение в 2018 году вашингтонского кардинала Маккарика. Его долгие годы подозревали в растлении малолетних. Некоторые представители духовенства утверждают, что у папы Франциска уже давно было достаточно данных в пользу виновности Маккарика, но все пошло по старому сценарию.
On keeping my own faith, yes, I've kept my own faith, and my beliefs, but the institution of the church does not mean that much to me now. The institutional church has really, I've lost all trust in it. I still have a relationship with God, and I will still pray, and I still consider myself a Catholic.
It's a great question. Do I have faith? I don't have religious faith. But I have, I suppose, an even greater faith in humanity, in goodness, in life, in healing. An even greater faith in something that I know to be true, and that is that no matter how awful the harm done, no matter how awful the offence caused, that if we're prepared to own it, to face it with courage and with truth and with compassion and with love and with a commitment to moving forward, then healing and recovery and progress isn't just possible, it's inevitable. And that this I know, this I have unshakable faith in.
It's the living in silence which is the most awful thing. And for so many victims, it's been too much, and they've taken their own lives, as we know. So we have to think about the countries where this is still happening and think of the children there.